I don't know. I think 80.
And everyone, good evening. Just to let you know, we've gone live. 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thanks everyone for your patience and we're all trying to still work out through these technical difficulties and stuff. So I appreciate everyone trying to get on and keep trying to get on and not giving up. So I appreciate that. I'd like to call the special meeting of the.
I can't hear anybody. Can anybody hear me?
I hear you, Chris.
I can hear you, Sybil.
I'd like to call. Can everyone hear me?
Sybil?
Little
Yes.
Sybil.
I can hear you,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor. I can hear you, Mr. Taylor.
I can hear Albert now.
Okay.
I hear you, Mr. Taylor.
Where's Hernan?
I'm right
Hernan's
here.
there.
Can you
He's
hear me?
speaking.
Okay, stop, guys. Stop. Everybody, let him speak. Go ahead, Mr. Illingsworth.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to
I
call.
can't hear him.
Turn your volume up, Mr. Illingsworth, on your phone.
Unknown participant is now exiting.
Oh, no. Did Taylor just exit? Yes.
My volume is all the way up. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I hear you.
I can hear you, Mr.
Did we lose Taylor?
And I'm back. Hold on.
Your voice is a little low.
Hi, you've reached 203-395-6965.
Unknown participant is now joining.
Please leave your name, number, and a brief message.
He's right there.
I'll
He's
get back to you as
joining
soon
us
as
now.
possible. Thank you. Now.
Chris? He's on mute. Chris is on mute.
Oh, he wasn't. It was his voicemail.
Oh,
I had to call him back. I'm going to try again.
Mr. Hernan, we can hear you, but you need to speak a little more loud so we can hear more your voice.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, he's back on.
Okay. Everyone is on?
Alan is here.
All right. Mike, is he on?
Yes, he's on. I'm trying to unmute him. I'm going to ask that IT unmute Mr. Taylor. Go ahead. Start the meeting.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the special meeting of the Bridgeport Board of Education, April 1st, 2020, to order. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, 1 second. Mr. Hernan,
Present.
Mr. Albert,
Chris Taylor.
Is now
Present.
joining.
Chris Taylor,
Present.
Perfect.
Mr. Joseph L,
Here.
Joseph S,
Present.
Mr. Weldon,
Present.
Bobby Brown, present, and Miss Martinez.
I am here.
Okay.
I didn't hear my name called.
Oh, Miss Allen, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
I'm
believe
present.
we're all here. Everyone just mute your computers and your phones so we can hear each other.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Interim Chair Illingworth.
Yes.
Yes, this is Mrs. Martinez. I have a motion to make.
Okay.
I make a motion to postpone the selection of the BOE chair to the next in-person public meeting. As I stated before, well, first, let me make sure there's a second, then we can have discussion.
Is there a second?
I second
I
it.
second that.
Second.
Okay. All right,
right.
wonderful. I just would like to state publicly, again, you are the most qualified that is sitting on the board currently. You have been a board member for many years previous. You have been a mentor to me. I believe you are handling the position as interim chair as best as you can, especially during this pandemic. I don't believe there's such a haste to rush to do so. I would love to see you remain as the interim chair until we can have an in-person meeting and have the public involved. So that is my motion, and that is my statement.
And I'll say a second.
Okay,
Discussion.
there is a discussion, so discussion.
Discussion.
Hey, can we call the question?
One
Discussion.
person at a time, though, please.
We had ample opportunity to include the public. I asked at the last meeting, can the public be included? The answer was yes. You, Hernan Illingworth, chose not to add a public comment to the agenda. Public could have dialed in just like everybody else, made their comments, and did that. You did not do so. For what reason, I do not know. But the public did have the opportunity that you took from the public. And that is not doing a good job as interim chair, so I do disagree with Ms. Martinez's statement.
Thank you, Mr. Sokolovic. Any other discussion?
Unknown participant is now
I
exiting.
would like to note that, last time we met, we decided we were going to run all this by our attorney, both the city attorney and Bertram Moses. And the city attorney came back with a response saying that the board has a duty to elect a new chairman, and it should do so promptly by electronic means, particularly in consideration of bylaw 9220.
Is now
Place
exiting.
limitations on the vice chairman's authority when quote unquote filling in as chairman. There is no such thing as an interim chairman. There is a vice chairman performing some duties of the chair, and those duties are limited. And we could find ourselves in a bind if we continue down this road without taking any action. These are not the most ideal circumstances for us to be operating under, but it's our new reality. And we could find ourselves doing it this way for the next 6 months, or maybe till the end of the year. And we shouldn't let that limit how we operate, and we shouldn't let it keep us from having a fully functional chairman. We asked for an opinion, we got the opinion. If a few people don't like the opinion, that's okay, but it's our guiding opinion. We should move forward.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Illingworth?
Yes.
It's Ms. Martinez. I mean, I respect the opinions of the attorneys. I would respect the opinion of the Board of Education attorney more than anything. He is the expert in this area. The city attorney makes several errors that has to be corrected, and we know this. Excuse me, who's speaking?
Participant
I'm
is now
speaking.
joining.
I'm speaking. And so at the end of the day, bylaws can be, rules and the bylaws can be suspended by us board members. We have done so with public comment by extending the time. Rules can be changed on the bylaws temporarily by us. So again, it's probably never have been done, but nor has this virus ever have been dealt with. So these electronic meetings, as you can see, have difficulties with us getting on and speaking clearly. So imagine the public, imagine having 30 speakers or 15 speakers or 25 speakers, or having to suspend the rules to have an extension of public comment and doing it over this in this way. And not everybody has access, so that's not even fair. So, right. So, and opinion versus fact is amazing, but the fact of the matter is that Mr. Illingworth is highly equipped and highly experienced, highly knowledgeable, and his heart is in the right place for the children. I want a leader, especially an interim leader, that's going to be in place that truly cares and is in this position for the right reasons. So, with that being said, that is the reason it's not that I don't like the opinion of the attorneys. If we have to go with the opinion of the attorneys, and that's what the decision of the team is. I'm a team player. So if the team feels that that's what it is, but I made the motion to postpone until we can meet publicly, and I stand with that motion.
Yeah, I
called the question.
I'd just like to say.
I second. I second the call to question.
I called the question a long time ago. That's why I don't like these meetings.
But you got a second.
It doesn't matter. He's got his hand up.
and I've been waiting to be speaking.
Just-
Who has his hand up? We're on the phone. You can't see my
Yeah,
hand.
exactly.
Order,
guys,
I
please.
second it.
Mr.
Order.
Illingworth, I'm asking to be
Order.
recognized.
I'm
formally.
just gonna say something.
Can't hear
to
you.
I'm gonna say something, and what I'm gonna say is that let's keep our discussions to the postponing of the selection of the board chair.
Yes, I can do that.
Not that I'm qualified or not qualified. That's not the question right here. Well, the only thing that's in question is do we postpone this to the next very public in-person meeting that we have, whatever that date will be. That's so. If I'm going to ask all members to please pertain to that discussion. Mr.
Yes.
Sokolovic.
Yes, I say we don't postpone it to the next regular board meeting because we don't know when that is. This virus could carry on for a year. We could be deadlocked for a year. And
Yeah,
at
you-
this
Mr. Illingworth, I seconded the call to
Wait,
question.
I called the question. That's why I don't like these phone meetings.
You have not been
I
recognized.
seconded.
Roll call vote. Roll call vote.
Floor. I've been
Roll call vote. I had the motion out before we got on the floor, and it was seconded. Roll call vote.
Call the question. You cannot
Roll
interrupt
call
the
vote.
speaker to call the question.
Roll call vote. Roll call vote.
Mr. Illingworth, may I continue speaking uninterrupted, please?
Heard it. Roll call vote. I had a motion on the floor and it was seconded.
Chris, let him finish.
Hey, Ernest. Hey, have a good night, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy your meeting.
All right, now, as I was saying,
Unknown
This virus can
participant is now
continue on.
exiting.
this virus can continue on for a year. There's talk of it coming back. So are we going to go on with the interim chair for a year? And last week you said you don't want this job. You said you want to only have it just now. I'm prepared to nominate John Weldon and take this job off of your hands. We can have a new chair today to move forward, a chair that has had experience and has done this in the past. Now, I didn't always agree with what he's done, but he can move us forward. And it's time to move forward. This board needs direction. This board needs to meet, and we need to do this. And I'm ready to nominate John Weldon formally.
Well,
May
no
I also-
nominations when there's a motion on the floor.
May I also
Okay,
speak?
all right.
Mr. Vice Chair, may I speak? This is Joe Lombard. May I
Yes.
speak? Okay, thank you. So regarding postponing and thinking of a reason why would we vote to postpone? Why would we vote not to postpone? If we think we can function as a board, then we can function to take votes on any issue. If we can't vote on any issue, we shouldn't be functioning as a board. And if we are going to function as a board, I can't think of any reason why we shouldn't have all three offices filled: chair, vice chair, and secretary. There's no reason to operate crippled. If we're not going to operate, we're not going to operate at all. But that's ridiculous. So I can't think of any reason, if we are going to function during this time electronically, voting on other things, why we can't vote on this. That's my opinion about postponing. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, and Jessica thank you. Martinez here.
Okay, guys.
I can't raise my hand, so I have to just
I know.
get your attention. All right, so I don't know who you're recognizing or who needs to speak, but I just
I'll
ask your
recognize
attention.
you, Ms. Martinez.
All right, so I agree with you, Mr. Lombard. However, everyone's really adamant about public, correct? And what we do is for the parents. What we do, and a lot of people want to hear their voices to be heard. Again, not everyone has access. Again, everyone's managing households in a ridiculous amount, losing time at work, not working, dealing with house. I am now a fourth grade teacher, and it's driving me crazy with one student, and that is my nephew. And hours a day am I taking with him to make sure his packet is getting done, to ensure. So whether they have time or don't have time, or they're managing a household, it is unfair for the public to be left out, because that is who we are working for, is the parents of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, that's first and foremost. Secondly, what major decisions do we have to operate as a board under this pandemic, when the person that is dealing with all the entire tragedy is the superintendent? So our job is to ensure we're supporting him and managing him, and he's doing an amazing job. So we get communication daily via email. So we have to discuss what decisions are we making? Are we negotiating contracts at this time when no one's working? I mean, I need to understand why is it so important to have a chair when we are not prepared to make that decision? Somebody's prepared to make a decision on John Walton. I don't want John Walton. He failed us as a leader previous. I don't want him as a leader now. Where is his heart for the children of Bridgeport? I would like to know that. So no, we're not prepared to have this conversation today. And we're not prepared because we don't have public comment. How do they feel about John Weldon? You know, so at the end of the day, I would like for not there to only be public comment, for there to be a space for us to have thought out conversation you guys removed a really good leader for stupid reason. But at the end of the day, here is where we are. We are because we're not focused on the right thing as a board on a constant basis. Now we must focus. How important is a chair when we should be focusing on the fact that there's a 16-year-old that's still in Geraldine Clater in 8th grade, and she's still not academically where she should be, and I'm helping her along. Well, it's unfair when you have children going to school and all you see them in social media dancing with teachers. There's a lot of things going on in this district that we must care about rather than fighting in emails back and forth on the minutia of things that is not our job or not in our job description. So I would say everybody needs to take a long time during this time in quarantine and think about your role and responsibility as a board member and what your passion and your job should be. And I'm sorry, Weldon doesn't have it.
Your comments
Weldon doesn't have it
all the time.
So
You're
anyway, there's a motion
all
on the
the
floor.
time. You're not giving anybody else a chance.
Listen,
to
I barely
voice
speak.
their opinion.
I barely speak. We just started this meeting. Is there a rush?
Well, you just no, but you're just
there's no rush.
You're
Okay,
clogging
so
the meeting.
well, I made a motion and there was seconded.
Guys,
I don't know what the
My
motion
time
was.
should be
This is Civil
respected,
Hour.
Mr. Chair. My time should be respected, Mr. Chair. There's a lot of people who can filibuster a time in a meeting. My time should be respected. As I stated, there is a lot of things we should be focused on. And right now, I want to focus on supporting the superintendent as best as we can during this pandemic. That is my focus. My focus is on ensuring that the parents are getting the support that they need. Okay, Mr. Benahan is on it. He's on it, right? Mr. Benahan, you are on there daily. You're in contact daily with the public. So at the end of the day, we need more time. My motion is on the table. It has been seconded. So that's what I have to say.
Okay.
Please restate the motion that's on the floor. Sybil Allen, please restate the motion that's on the floor.
My motion was to postpone the selection of chair until the next in-person public meeting, and it was seconded by both Chris Taylor and Mr. Benahan.
Mr. Taylor is no longer present, so Mr. Whoever seconded it, it should stand.
I'm here. Mr. Benahan's here.
I think we've heard enough discussion on this. And unless there's a dire need to prove why we should or should not postpone the election of the board chair, then I would like to call for the vote. So, Madam Secretary, if we can have a roll call vote, please.
Who are we voting for?
We're not voting for anyone. We're voting just to postpone, Miss Allen.
Thank you. I heard so much gibberish. I couldn't get clarity on what was being said.
Going forward, guys, we're going to have to be very, these meetings could be very tricky. And if people want to talk over each other, it's hard to manage. And so I just ask if we keep going forward with these meetings, we're going to have to, try to be a little more respectful and try not to talk over people's and mute when we're not speaking. All right. Sorry, Madam Secretary, can you please call the roll?
And what's the vote for now to postpone?
Postpone, Miss Allen.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Weldon?
No.
Miss Joseph S?
No.
Jessica Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Benahan,
Yes.
Miss Allen,
No.
Mr. Hernan,
Yes.
Bobby Brown, yes. I
You
think
didn't
that's
call-
everyone.
You didn't call me.
Joe Lombard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. Lombard.
Yeah, no,
I'm a little confused. So go ahead.
no.
All right, so I believe we're 4-4, so the motion fails.
I would like to nominate John Weldon for Chair of Board of Education.
I second that.
I second it.
Okay, well, guys, have a good night. I'm not voting, especially for Weldon.
All right, so we have a first and we have a second. Any discussion?
Jessica Martinez.
Is now exiting.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
Is there any further nominations?
Any further nominations? Okay, hearing no other nominations, nominations are closed. I guess it's only a few of us, so I guess we could do this by voice vote.
Do we have to vote if there's
A roll call.
no other
vote.
candidates?
No, actually.
Yeah, I think technically we do have to vote.
I think we should. Let's not make this a technicality.
Okay,
And
okay.
so I think we should.
Okay.
We should do what? I can't hear
So-
you.
This is
Formally
a
vote.
roll call vote.
Take a roll call vote.
And I suggest following up with the email.
Please clarify the vote. Sybil Allen wants a clarification on what in the world are we voting for?
We're only voting for one candidate for board chair. That's Mr. Weldon.
Okay,
So a vote
Thank you.
yes, a vote yes would mean you are supporting Mr. Weldon for chair.
thank you.
All right, I do ask that after the roll call vote that you do, send an email to Rita so that we do have a vote on record in writing as well as a backup.
I'll have to bring mine in. I don't email.
No problem, Miss Allen.
Okay, I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'll come to Rita.
Miss Secretary Bobby Brown, can you please roll call vote?
Yes. Sure. Miss Allen,
Pass.
Mr. Benahan,
Can you please repeat what was the question, please? I was a little lost.
they are, we're voting on Mr. Weldon, whether or not he should be chair. He's the only one that's up here that is receiving a nomination.
Oh, no.
All right, Mr. Lombard,
Yes.
Mr. Sokolovic,
Yes.
oh, I said your name right.
Very good.
Mr. Weldon,
Yes.
did I do Mr. Hernan?
I abstain.
And Bobby Brown, I abstain as well. I think
All
that's
right.
everyone.
The motion carries.
No. I didn't
Oh, I'm
vote.
sorry,
gotta
Miss
go back.
Allen.
I didn't vote.
Miss
I
Allen?
vote for Mr. Weldon. I vote for Mr. Weldon.
All right, so Mr. Weldon, congratulations. We have selected Mr. Weldon as board chair. You, Mr. Weldon,
Congratulations.
you have the floor. You could take over from here.
Okay, I'll let Mr. Illingworth close the meeting. He started it, but I'll just say that I'll be reaching out shortly to kind of touch base with everyone about how we want to be moving forward in these strange times. So keep an eye out for that email. And for those of you who supported me, I thank you. For those who did not, I hope I can earn it going forward. Thank you. Mr. Ellsworth, you have the floor.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second. Sorry.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, hang up.
Is now exiting.